much for waiting half an hour for this, but I promise it'll be well worth the wait. How has everyone's day been going so far? It's been a long one. How many of you got here before 8 o'clock this morning and was ready to hit the ground running? Yeah? All right. So I'm really, really excited. This is actually the last startup studio of the entire day. We've been doing incredible work and have been having the most dynamic conversations with female just rock stars and industry leaders and innovators and people who are giving you a really incredible deep dive into the industries that you're curious about. And the goal of Startup Studio and the reason why we have done this for a second time in partnership with Chromebook is because we believe that it is time for women to redefine the meaning of success for ourselves. And we know that that's just got to be more than in theory. It has to be in practice. But if you don't have the tools to do that, how do you get there, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving you guys actionable tools to take home. But we also want to give you really, really great insights from different perspectives throughout the industry. And so with that, we are going to be kicking off our Startup Studio, the media section, with Cyndi Ramirez, who is the founder and chief chillster? Is that what you say? Chiller-in-chief of Chill House. And she's going to be giving you guys an industry overview of media from her perspective, which is atypical, and I think it's going to be really, really interesting for you. Throughout the next couple of workshops, I'll come back and introduce your leaders, and we're going to be doing workshops where you're going to have the opportunity to follow along and interact with the Chromebooks in front of you, play with them. If you have questions, raise your hand, and we'll kick it off.
So a little bit about me. I'm the founder and chiller-in-chief of Chill House. As it stands right now, we are a destination for modern self-care. We have a physical space in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and that space is a wellness cafe paired with a nail art studio and a massage boutique. Let's just get started, I guess, on the media side of things. So media yesterday, you were consuming news back in the day. Today I'm going to talk about the media industry and ways a well-crafted social media strategy can grow a business. So the media industry has become more than just about reporting the news. It's fragmented into millions of topics and publishers, both niche and large. So people now, especially millennials and Gen Z, want to consume their media in bite-sized, digestible formats. And more than anything, they really care about connecting with who's telling the story. Today, not only do we see and hear the story, but we see and hear the voice of the person presenting it. So media today is more than ever just a visual story that shows identity, perspective, personality. So the many mediums we have to use, so social, TV, 24-hour lasting videos, and more allow for media to be a way to communicate amongst individuals and groups. And in many ways, because of the control we have over our own media, we have now, in many ways, become our own media companies, right? I mean, you have Instagram accounts, we all are publishers. So this is why it's really important to understand and identify your own brand/company through a strong and recognizable voice and visual identity. So how to crack Instagram. So Instagram has pivoted to be less about aspirational imagery and more about going deeply inside someone's lives. I recently visited the Instagram offices and was given a few pointers, which I'd love to share with you guys today. So videos are the future. In the past, it was all about the feed. People are now consuming things at an ever-increasing rate. So video captures people's attention much higher than a photo, and it makes you or your brand look and feel authentic. And a healthy mix of video and photo are really important. Like, you don't want to just do videos. I think the combination of the two really helps to kind of, identify your voice from a couple of different mediums, not just putting a bunch of silly little videos out there just to break the algorithm. So don't worry so much about overposting on your feed either, because the more you post, the better your content gets out there, actually. In fact, post as much as like 2 to 3 times a day, which is, I know, crazy, and it seems like a lot of content to create, and it sounds a little scary, but the algorithm will favor you. That's what they say. And you won't overwhelm your followers because they're not going to see everything. And if they do, then that's great because you're doing a good job and somehow it's reaching you. So yeah, these are just some examples of brands I think are doing a really good job. Obviously, Chill House is on there. Go follow us, please. So this first one, the caption, I don't know if you can see it, it says, "They say teamwork makes the dream work. Tag your ride or die, your PIC, the Abby to your Lana, the Will to your Grace." Another pointer from Instagram is like to always, or even from like a growth audience developers, to always end your captions with a call to action. Maybe not always, but try to as much as you can, because that encourages comments, and obviously comments increases engagement, and it builds up your, all of that good stuff. So in this case, that was our call to action, to tag a friend, and we're still relatively small. We have like 36,000 followers, I think. So 28 comments for us is pretty good, and it's because we did the call to action. I also obviously love Girlboss. I think they do a fantastic job with their social. So that one, I don't know, obviously you can't see it, it was a video. Do you remember this one? It was really funny. It's like this fabulous guy just like walking down the street, and it's like, "Where are we going?" And then obviously you can read there, "When your friend said I'll drive." And it's like, so yeah, I think it's also important to keep it light and keep it funny. Yeah, posts that'll just make people laugh and go, "Yep, that's me," I think is great. And that's why I love this. Notes on the couple too. For Frank Bod, I also think something that's really good for you guys to do, if it pertains to your brand, is just feature people who other people love. Batty Winkle, obviously, I don't know if you guys know her. She's amazing. She's, so putting a face like her in front of, to represent your brand obviously connects with people. And so it's important to not just like push product and product, displays, and like bring faces to your Instagram as well. And then, I had overheard LA, because I think a lot of really awesome businesses start on Instagram. I don't really know how they're monetizing, but I think they do obviously an amazing job at like voice and engaging community just based on what they're doing. Who here follows Overheard LA? I thought more of you would, actually, but maybe not everyone's from LA. So yeah, this is kind of where we are in our current trajectory. So we started off as a space for modern relaxation, cafe, nail, and body services. We just launched an editorial site called The Chill Times, which I would love for you guys to check out and let me know what you think. We're calling it a digital oasis where self-care meets self-discovery. So I guess I'm kind of like saying it's kind of like a millennial goop in a way, where we're speaking not so deeply into certain wellness topics, but more approaching it from like a best friend angle, and like, how you would discuss it with someone that you really trust, or not even someone that you trust, someone that you're just kind of like going through the journey with. Shop, so we'll be launching, this is the first time I'm really announcing this, we'll be shopping a chill shop online, curating goods that'll make you feel good, and that'll be coming summer 2018. Partnerships. Okay, so Chill House does a ton of partnerships, which we had no idea going into it that we were going to be approached by so many brands, and obviously we're really lucky and fortunate that this is the case. We worked with brands like Nike, like Uniqlo, like J.Crew, and the list goes on. A ton of times they come to us to either pop up in their stores or take over our space, but I guess the moral of the story is partnerships are important because they allow cross-promotion of audiences and for your community to see you in a new light. And obviously, sometimes there's a financial exchange, right? So learn when it's time to monetize your partnerships, because for us at Chill House, we provided a service, like a direct service. So we were able to monetize them directly, but there are some times, like this weekend, for example, that we're doing our partnership in kind, because this is a great opportunity for me and for Chill House to get in front of hopefully their customers and community one day. So newsletters. Obviously, this is one of the best ways to get in front of your audience, like no matter what, lands in their inbox either once a week or once a day, which I think is a little excessive. But if your business is built on newsletters, then that's what you have to do. But yeah, it's one of the most important distribution channels, so be thoughtful when it comes to your newsletters, and obviously get creative. Think about what's going to get them to open up the newsletters, whether it's your subject line or how you kind of throw people off as far as like how to get them to open it. So what kind of content will keep them on their toes? You don't want to just have a template that you send out every week and then it's just kind of repetitive and it drives people to a product or a story. You want it to be something or you want at least your content to kind of switch it up and always, get them to be like, what's happening today? So if you're a media site, editors' letters are great. Shows that you care about creating additional content outside of just your website. And it's not obviously just about the clicks to your site. It's about, showing them something special and unique that's inside another distribution channel. Okay, so yeah, what else can you do? Maybe you can provide unique discounts in your newsletter that only your subscribers get. That tends to do well for us at Chill House. And maybe there's a founder's note in there every now and then. It's something that comes straight from you. If you're the founder of your company, like maybe you want to share something that happened that week and that could be interesting and kind of relates to your audience. So yeah, some takeaways, and we didn't get through everything, so you can come up to me later and I can talk your ear off. But identify your customer and build a brand with them in mind. Obviously, that seems really, really obvious, but it's the core to building any brand. So your social presence and your product business must match up. And we talk about having a pretty social or an Instagram or a pretty brand. I'm sure, we talked a lot about, or you guys had the studio for the creative and brand building. You have to make sure that your physical product and your social presence match up. That's like 100%, has to happen. Build relationships on social, engage with your audience thoroughly on DM, on comments, just make sure you're talking to them. A lot of times, we all know cyberbullying is out there. That's probably because people forget that there's people behind each of these portals, and that's important for them to know, no, there's human interaction here. And so I know it seems also very obvious, but keep engaged, keep that audience engaged. Also get in front of people. So how does your online business or your product-based business translate in real life? A good way to do that is, do pop-ups with retailers or pop up, with other brands and X, Y, and Z. Get creative. Partner with like-minded brands to get in front of new but similar audiences, whether that's, Girlboss or Nike. Just make sure that you're getting out there and, talking to all sorts of audiences. And design with social sharing in mind. So think of the brands you're excited to share about and why, just as a point of, perception. Let that inspire your own branding and social presence. Something that I didn't get through. Obviously, we have a physical space, and I had something in there about neons and how those do really well for us. I actually got it tattooed on my arm, our neon. So yeah, design with social sharing in mind, whether that's your actual product, the packaging, the actual physical space, the couch that you put in your space, the table, everything. Because at the end of the day, social is going to be your biggest marketing driver.